Toyota just gave the 2027 Crown a newer hybrid system. It still makes 236 horsepower, and somehow, fuel economy got worse, only by 1 MPG, but that creates an obvious question. If Toyota's 5th-generation hybrid does not give you more power or better headline efficiency, what exactly got better? And that is only the first strange part of this update. One Crown trim just became nearly $3,800 more expensive. Toyota quietly shortened a major ownership benefit, and somehow the cheapest version may now be the smartest one to buy. So before you assume the 2027 Crown is simply an improved version of last year's car, there are 3 changes you need to understand, starting with the one Toyota is calling an upgrade. The new hybrid. What actually changed? The biggest mechanical change affects the XLE, Limited, and Nightshade. They now use Toyota's 5th-generation hybrid system, or THS5. It combines a naturally aspirated 2.5-liter 4-cylinder with front and rear electric motors, an ECVT, and electronic on-demand all-wheel drive. Combined output remains 236 horsepower. That number matters because the outgoing Crown also made 236 horsepower. Toyota says the newer system delivers smoother power and more responsive acceleration, and paddle shifters are now standard. But remember, this is still an ECVT. Those paddles are creating step responses rather than shifting through conventional gears. So do not expect them to suddenly turn the Crown into a sports sedan. The potential improvement here is more subtle, better calibration, smoother power delivery, and a powertrain that feels less detached when you ask for acceleration. We have not driven the 2027 model, so we are not going to claim that difference is transformative. And that brings us straight back to the number that makes this update so interesting. Because if horsepower did not increase, you would probably expect efficiency to. It didn't. Newer hybrid. Worse MPG. The previous Crown hybrid was rated at 41 miles per gallon combined. The 2027 THS5 version is rated at 40 miles per gallon combined. Toyota introduced a newer hybrid system and apparently misplaced 1 mile per gallon during installation. In real life, this barely matters. Drive 12,000 miles a year, and the difference works out to roughly 7 additional gallons of fuel. That is not going to destroy anyone's ownership budget. The issue is what the number tells us about the update. Normally, when an automaker introduces a newer generation hybrid, buyers expect one of 2 obvious rewards: more performance or better efficiency. Here, headline horsepower stays at 236, while combined MPG slips slightly. So THS5 needs to justify itself through refinement rather than numbers. If independent testing eventually shows noticeably smoother response or stronger real-world economy, that could make sense. But right now, the spec sheet alone does not tell a particularly exciting story. The Crown does still have one huge advantage over an EV or plug-in hybrid: range without any charging routine. With a 14.5-gallon tank and a 40 miles per gallon combined rating, theoretical range is roughly 580 miles. Fill it up, drive it, repeat. For a buyer who wants electrified efficiency without thinking about chargers, that remains one of the Crown's strongest arguments. But efficiency is only half this lineup, because there is still one Crown that completely ignores the sensible approach. Platinum, the Crown that shows speed. The Platinum keeps Toyota's Hybrid Max system. That means a turbocharged 2.4-liter 4-cylinder, electric assistance, a 6-speed automatic, and 340 horsepower with 400 pound-feet of torque. Toyota estimates 60 miles per hour in 5.7 seconds, while independent testing of the previous Crown Platinum has recorded roughly 5.1. That is genuinely quick for an executive sedan wearing platform shoes. And unlike the regular hybrid, the Platinum gets hardware designed to make that performance usable. There is adaptive suspension, dynamic rear steering, full-time electronic all-wheel drive, and active cornering assist. This is the Crown for someone who thinks 236 horsepower sounds suspiciously responsible. But there is an obvious penalty. Fuel economy drops to 30 miles per gallon combined. And then comes the price. The Platinum starts at $56,485 including destination. At nearly $57,000, you are no longer simply comparing the Crown with mainstream sedans. You are entering territory where premium brand alternatives become very difficult to ignore. And strangely, the Platinum is not the trim with the most controversial price increase. That belongs to the Limited. The $3,770 question. The 2027 Crown Limited now costs $51,015, including destination. That is $3,770 more than last year's Limited. Toyota has not simply raised the price for nothing. The Limited now includes more technology as standard, including the panoramic view monitor, traffic jam assist capability, digital key capability, and other equipment that previously required additional packaging. So the Limited is unquestionably better equipped. But here is the more important buyer question. Would you rather have those features or keep more than $8,000 in your pocket? Because the XLE starts at $42,935. And underneath, it still gives you the same 236 horsepower THS-5 hybrid system, the same standard all-wheel drive, the same basic cabin architecture, leather-trimmed seats, heated and ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, a heated steering wheel, and the same 12.3-inch central display. Suddenly, the entry-level Crown does not look entry-level at all. This is the first major reason the 2027 update changes our trim recommendation. And we are not finished, because another ownership change makes paying more for the Crown slightly harder to justify. We will get to that in a moment. First, Toyota has also cleaned up the part of the Crown that people either love or absolutely do not understand. It still looks weird good. Toyota did not try to turn the Crown into another conventional sedan. That was the right decision. The tall ride height, fast roofline, hammerhead-style lighting, large wheels, and unusual proportions are still here. The Crown remains difficult to classify at a glance. Sedan? Lifted sedan? Crossover that forgot the hatch? Yes. For 2027, the biggest exterior change is a reshaped rear bumper that gives the back of the car a cleaner, more resolved appearance. There is also a new black paint color called Inked. The Platinum gets standard red brake calipers, black window trim, and a revised two-tone treatment where the trunk remains body color while the roof and upper section stay black. That small change makes the design look more intentional. Nightshade continues with matte black 21-inch wheels and dark exterior trim, now joined by black badge overlays. These are refinements, not a redesign, and honestly, that is probably enough. The Crown's biggest design strength is that nobody will mistake it for everything else in the dealership lot. The interior finally gets some color. Inside, the basic layout carries over. Two 12.3-inch displays dominate the dashboard, physical climate controls remain, and the high center console helps create that slightly elevated, almost crossover-like driving environment. Material quality is good, although some harder plastics lower in the cabin still remind you this is a premium Toyota rather than a Lexus with a discount. The more interesting change is color. Limited now offers full saddle tan seating, and Platinum adds saddle tan as an option. Bronze Age exterior paint can also be paired with it. That might sound minor, but after years of black-on-black interiors, actual color feels almost revolutionary. Passenger space remains generous for 5, while the trunk holds around 15.2 cubic feet. And this is where the Crown's unusual body shape can be misleading. You sit higher than in a conventional sedan, but you still get a normal trunk rather than the large hatch opening you would find in something like a Crown Signia. So the Crown gives you some crossover convenience. Not all of it. Technology, with an asterisk. Every Crown gets Toyota's 12.3-inch multimedia system with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 also remains standard, covering the important driver assistance basics, such as adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, lane assistance, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross-traffic alert. The Limited and Platinum pile on considerably more technology. But there is an important distinction between hardware being installed and every connected feature remaining active indefinitely. Features including digital key and traffic jam assist depend on eligible connected service plans after their trial periods. That is becoming normal across the industry. It is still worth mentioning because when a vehicle passes $50,000, buyers reasonably expect the technology they paid for to keep working without another line appearing on the monthly credit card statement. And speaking of things buyers used to get for longer, here comes that other 2027 downgrade. Toyota quietly took something away. For 2027, complimentary ToyotaCare scheduled maintenance lasts 1 year or 10,000 miles. For 2026 and earlier Toyota models, the standard coverage was 2 years or 25,000 miles. Roadside assistance still lasts 2 years with unlimited mileage. The overall warranty remains strong as well. You get 3 years or 36,000 miles of basic coverage, 5 years or 60,000 miles on the powertrain, 8 years or 1 lakh miles on hybrid-related components, and 10 years or 150,000 miles on the hybrid battery. So this is not suddenly a bad ownership package, but it is a downgrade. Toyota gave the crown paddle shifters and took away some free maintenance. Progress is complicated, and when you combine that with the Limited's higher price and the slightly lower MPG rating, the 2027 update starts looking much more mixed than the words next-generation hybrid initially suggest. Which crown actually makes sense? And this is where all three threads come together. The new hybrid does not give you more headline horsepower. Fuel economy falls slightly. The Limited gets much more expensive. ToyotaCare gets shorter. So where is the value? For most buyers, it is the XLE. At $42,935 including destination, it gives you the THS5 hybrid, 236 horsepower, standard AWD, excellent comfort equipment, and most of what makes a crown feel like a crown. The Nightshade, at $50,260, makes sense mainly if you love the darker styling. Mechanically, you are still buying the regular hybrid. The Limited is the technology choice. There is nothing wrong with its equipment list, but at $51,015, the value calculation becomes much harder. And the Platinum is effectively a different personality altogether. At $56,485, it is expensive, less efficient, and dangerously close to premium brand territory. But it is also the one with 340 horsepower, the more sophisticated chassis, and the performance hardware that actually changes how the car behaves. So ironically, the two easiest crowns to understand are at opposite ends of the lineup. The XLE because it offers the value. The Platinum because it offers something genuinely different. So, did Toyota actually improve the 2027 Crown? Yes, just not in the obvious ways. THS May 5th make the regular Crown smoother and more responsive, but it does not produce more headline horsepower, and its combined economy rating is actually 1 MPG lower. The exterior looks more polished. The cabin finally gets more personality. The Limited gets significantly more standard technology, but that technology comes with a $3,770 price increase, while ToyotaCare quietly becomes less generous, which leaves the Crown in almost exactly the position it has always occupied. It is strange, it is expensive, it is difficult to compare directly with anything else, and that may be precisely why it works. For buyers who want hybrid efficiency, standard AWD, easier entry than a conventional sedan, genuine long-distance range, and something that does not look like every other mid-size car on the road, there is still very little like it. But for 2027, our pick is clearer than ever. Buy the XLE if you want the smartest crown. Buy the Platinum if you want the most interesting crown. The trims in between are where the math starts getting complicated. Would you take the value-focused XLE, the blacked-out Nightshade, the technology-heavy Limited, or spend the extra money for the 340 horsepower Platinum? Tell us which one you would buy in the comments, and subscribe to Next Gear for more new car breakdowns, comparisons, and honest buying advice.